You can stay unmuted, man. I need to talk to you. I know we're going live. Okay, I think we got people. Okay, I need somebody to tell me that they can see us. Let's see.
You're live. Go for it. I'm watching.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. So tonight is a little different. If you've ever been on any hangouts that we've ever done regarding finances or regarding MyEcon or teaching people about legacy wealth, anything, this is going to be a lot different, and I'm excited about it because we have so many great testimonials. We're not going to do a PowerPoint, anything like that. We're not going to do a presentation pretty much at all. We're just going to kind of talk about real stories, and I'm going to tell you what inspired this. What inspired it really was a lot of the negativity that I'm seeing out here, these reality shows and all this these negative things that are being portrayed when there's so much positivity going on in our communities that is not being portrayed, not being shared. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the real stories of MyEcon. So it's like a reality show about success. And what we're going to do is we're going to just tell the blatant truth from people that have gotten started with MyEcon just a couple of days ago, a couple months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, and just go through what has their progressions been. Because right now is a very emotional time. Christmas is the most joyous time, but it can also be the most depressing time if you don't have what you need to either survive or to thrive or to provide during these times. So many people that I know, their financial positions have been the same for the last several years. So I'm going to ask you, if you're listening, you definitely want to get a pen and pad together because you're going to be able to take notes on some things you can actually do. And then you're going to be able to connect with some people. You might want to jot some names down of just stories of people so you can connect with them once you're on the other side with being with MyEcon. So, ask yourself this question, really, and there's a couple things, and then we're going to get started and dive right into it. What I want to ask you is, are your finances better, worse, or the same from last year? And did you have a financial resolution? Anything in your resolutions or anything your goals for the year, did you hit them? And a lot of people are not hitting them, and I know and I know this because I used to be one of those people. No matter how hard we work, no matter if you get another job, no matter if you start another business, if you don't really understand the rules of capitalism, you're always going to be behind. Why? Because those that create the rules create it so that you will do so. I'm not here to talk about some big conspiracy theory, but it's just really the mathematics of the game. So tonight, what we're going to do, I'm going to go really quick and go over the 2 things that we're working for, the 4 things that stop us, and the 3 solutions. In those 4 things, I'm going to call on some people that have conquered one of those 4 things, those 4 challenges that we're going to get. And then I'm going to call on 3 people as we talk about the 3 solutions. And so we're going to build in the testimonials and build in the stories throughout talking about what we got going on. So guys, have your finger triggered by the mute button because I'm going to call on people randomly. Then we're just going to kind of share a little bit of afterwards. So I'll share my story throughout talking, so you guys you can hear that as we go along. But lo and behold, I'm Edmund Lee. I'm an executive vice president with MyEcon. Been with MyEcon for 2 years. Made a lot of money, lost a lot of money. I got my master's in business, and I've just been able to take this information and have done a lot personally and have helped a lot of people. So the 2 things, if you want to write these down, the 2 things we all work for is we work for building our income and working, either a business or a job to take care of our current lifestyle. The second thing we work for is to build assets that take care of our lifestyle when we either don't want to work, cannot work, or just, don't feel like working. And I don't use the word retire because a lot of us on this call, we don't look at retirement as the day we just stop doing stuff. It's the day that we don't have to do something. So if you're one of those people that love to work, you can still go to work. But this way, you don't have to worry about somebody telling you it's your last day or what have you. I'm going to tell you, like Buckminster Fuller says, you might want to write that name down. It's a very, very powerful thought leader in our time. He's passed away. But he stated that wealth is how long you can survive without having to work. How long can your money right now, how long can you survive without another paycheck coming in, without going to work again at all? And if you don't have assets providing your lifestyle, then most people can't. And that hit me pretty hard because when I heard that, I was living the middle class lifestyle, the $50,000 millionaire. where I thought I had everything, but I was borrowing money on my mortgage. I was borrowing money for a car, borrowing money on credit card, but I had this degree, borrowing money on that, but I had status because I was middle to upper class and I thought you couldn't tell me anything. And a lot of people fall in that category. So the second thing before we get moving, we are talking to people that are aware of being unaware. We're talking to people that know they don't know everything. If you know everything, I'm going to save you some time. Just hop off right now, okay? Because I know some very rich and wealthy people, and none of them know everything, and that's the number one reason they're rich and wealthy. So we'll move on to the 4 things that stop us. What are the things that stop us? Hold on, we got some background. Is that Kevin?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I got you. I got you muted, homeboy, so you're good. All right, so I'm coming right back to you, though, Kevin, since you came in late. We're going to start off with you. So we're going to talk about debt, and I know, no, you know what, Kevin, you got a good story about taxes. Yeah, I'm going to talk about taxes. So one of the things that stop us from getting to the next level is taxes, right? It's being overtaxed on our jobs, and 80% of Americans are overtaxed and don't even know it. And not only that, entrepreneurs, a lot of them don't even keep good tax records. So even though we get the money coming in, we still don't have the proper things that we need in place to bulletproof our taxes. So Kevin, I'm going to dial on you, bro, and ask you, where were you as far as tax information and tax knowledge prior to MyEcon, and what has it done for you, real numbers, real life, for the last year or so? Uh-oh, hold on. Let me unmute. Let's unmute you. Hold on. You got to unmute yourself, I think. And then, Eric, can you make sure we got him white boxed over there? Can we hear him?
Here we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. Yep, you good. Yep.
So prior to MyEcon, my mom was actually the manager and the supervisor over a tax preparer place. I think it was Jackson Hewitt. And the knowledge that she didn't have from doing taxes, I was able to get with MyEcon. So once I joined MyEcon, my very first year from just the tax savings alone, I was able to cash flow over $8,000 in taxes.
Wow. Now, you cash flowed over $8,000 in taxes. Didn't you also take your taxable income down?
Yes, I did. Because I used to work for the government. I worked for Social Security Administration. And so prior to that, I was earning around $50,000 a year. Well, I was being taxed. I would have to pay in around $9,000. Now, because of MyEcon, because I was getting the business tax deductions, I was able to write off almost nearly $20,000, and I lowered my taxable income to around $21,000, give or take a little bit. So around $21,000, my taxable income dropped to. And then by doing that, I was able to get that cash flow of around $8,000 back into my home in federal and state taxes.
Okay. Now, that sounds good. Now, Kevin, I want to go a little deeper. You have a child, right?
I do.
Tell me taxes, schmaxes. You save on taxes. You gave me some numbers. What does that mean, though? What does that mean to your child? What have you been able to do in the last year that without MyEcon you have not done? I'm talking physically. What have you done?
Physically, I've been able to spend more time with my son. In addition to that, with the $8,000, I was able to open my first investment account up for him. So now, when he gets ready to go to college, I can have the investments available to him, so I can just pay for it and not have to worry about student loans. So I started his first investment account by cash flowing that $8,000. I paid off most of my debt, and then I was able to start an investment account for him.
Okay, yeah. See, that's what people need to hear, man, because a lot of people think that we're just out here, making more money. No, this has basically changed your son's life with that one decision.
Yes, it has.
Okay.
Yes, it has.
And had you have been said, you know what, I don't have the $10, I don't have the 179. Now, how many times does 10 or 179 go into a college fund over 18 years? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So
I do.
So that's the first thing, guys, and you can bring it back. The first thing is taxes. And so the next thing I want to talk about, and we're going to come back to these. We're going to dive into people's stories. So it doesn't matter whether you're middle class, upper class, single parent, dual income, doesn't matter. We're going to talk about everybody in this we're going to cover every gambit. So the second thing after taxes is that causes basically a lot of people to go into consumer debt. Reason being is because when you got a third of your income going to Uncle Sam, then if you think about it, whatever you guys do for New Year's, you're probably making New Year's plans right now. Whatever you do from then all the way to about Easter, that all goes to the government. If you have a job, if you're an entrepreneur, it's a little different. But with that being said, that causes a lot of people to make up for that loss of income with consumer debt. So what does debt look like? Well, it's the student loans, that's the mortgages, that's not knowing that you should pay your mortgage twice a month, that's not knowing that you have different options to snowball your debt payments to get rid of those car notes and consumer debt. So raise your hand. I want to know who on this call has had some success in eliminating debt within from last Christmas to this Christmas, or maybe a little bit before, and I can pull somebody out. I know Kev has. I think Nargis. Okay, let's go to Nargis over here. So you're gonna unmute and let's talk about what you've been able to do with debt.
Well, before MyEcon, which was last year, I have lost my house to foreclosure, so my credit was completely shot. And of course, I've had plenty of debt. But once I joined MyEcon and I adjusted my W-4, I was able to cash flow almost $6,000 into my home, and I was able to pay off most of my bills and my debt. I was also able to purchase a new vehicle, and my credit score have been going up, up, up since I've started with MyEcon. It went up by over 100 points in less than a year, and it's still going up.
Wow. Okay. So you were able to get rid of some debt. So the new car. Why the new car? What was so important about that?
My previous vehicle was totaled. I had a accident, so I had to purchase a new vehicle, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wasn't part of MyEcon.
Right.
I've actually been with MyEcon for 6 months before I purchased a vehicle. I wouldn't be able to even qualify for anything with my credit, but I was able to purchase my vehicle after 6 months.
And you have how many kids?
I have 2.
And by yourself, right? So that car got them to and from school, correct?
That's right.
Okay. So if you guys are listening to this, yes, you can see that I'm leading people down paths because I want this to be reality, because a lot of times we talk about the high level of what happens, but what does that really mean? There's people out here listening to this that have children that need to take them to school, just the regular stuff. See, people, we're not talking about becoming wealthy so you could just go buy yachts in a random. In this day and age, you have to become your own steward of your own money. And the problem is most people won't realize that until they're in their 60s or 70s. By then, they have the #1 asset taken away from them, which is time. See, if you read Tony Robbins' new book, oh man, I forget the name of it. Somebody pull it up before we get off. He talked about a guy that made $14,000 a year and retired with something like $70 million, right? And you're like, wow, yeah, because he invested 20% of his income. Now, did he live a lavish lifestyle? I wouldn't live his lifestyle. I'm gonna tell you now, I like to travel the world. So I'm not saying don't spend or don't do anything, but if you allocate your monies, I have a travel account. Shanna's another person on here that has a travel account. We put aside every month things for things that we want to do. So you can pay off that, still get that other card. Now, Nargis, let me ask you this. With those 2 lovely, lovely, lovely children of yours, you've also been able to start a program that you've been wanting to do that MyEcon has allowed you to be able to do, that's really your passion. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. The program is called Beauty and Brains, and actually, I'm not the founder of Beauty and Brains. The founder of Beauty and Brains lives in North Carolina. Her name is Ebony, and she is also a part of MyEcon. I met her through MyEcon. So you don't just join MyEcon as a business and cash flow money and pay up debt and bring your credit score up. You also have a huge network of amazing people with who you can connect, like-minded people. M&A,
Yeah, tell me more about that. Tell me about what it does.
the network.
No, Beauty and Brains. Tell me about that.
Beauty and Brains is a program that teaches young girls aged 13 through 18 entrepreneur skills outside the classroom, which is very powerful.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get to some other things that people do and on this call that are really affecting, children, which Confucius says is the way that you really make a change long term is by educating children. He said by educating adults, you just make a dent, which is pretty interesting. And he said in deeper words than that. I just paraphrase it because I forgot it. But anyway, we're going to go to the second thing. So what did we cover, guys? So we covered the two things we work for. We're looking at the two things that, four things that stop us, but we only covered two. So we're going to move from debt to we're going to talk about the silent killer. All right, this is inflation. Inflation is basically the easiest way to describe it is your money staying like this and maybe a little 2% raise every so often, right, or whatever, just to make you feel good about yourself. But the cost of living is going up. Now, what's in the cost of living? People say that word and they talk about it and it's like, that doesn't affect me. Cost of living means cost to stay alive. Okay, we're not talking about the cost of some Manolos or some cost of some extra trips to Hawaii. We're talking about cost of gasoline. What does gasoline do? It takes your kids to school. It takes you to the hospital. It takes you to family. It takes you to go see people during Christmas. The next 2 days are the most traveled days of the year. And we're talking about flights. We're talking about hotels. We're talking about things that people want to do just to spend time with their family, which is pretty much the number one thing that people want to do in the world is spend time with those they love. So that's what we're talking about, guys. We're talking about just keeping up. If you're not doing something different, if you're not, writing off and things of that nature, you're going to have a hard time struggling. And I will bet you this. I'll make a bet with everybody on this call. If you don't take action, don't do anything different for 5 years, come back to this call because we're going to do this every year. Every year you're going to keep seeing the reality. What happened this year? What happened this year? You're going to see new faces, new faces. Your face could be down on the bottom. But don't believe me. Test us in 5 years. Check your balance sheet now and check it in 5 years and compare it to those people that are on this panel. And I'm quite sure it's going to be a difference. I don't want you to do that, but I'm just telling you that's a way to prove us wrong if you're about your research. And I'm going to actually bring up something about the research and proving us wrong thing at the end as well. But so let's get into the actual inflation. Does anybody have actually, Marcus? I want to go to Marcus. I want to go to your story on this. On what you were able to do with just a year of time as far as surpassing inflation with the way you've invested, the way you've changed just a couple of moves. What did that do for you in your household?
Well, Edmund and I go back. Edmund is a good friend of mine. We met mutually back in 2004, 2005 time frame. And Ed used to always post this stuff on Facebook. And I would downplay it, never look at it. I just so happened to look at it Christmas Day 2013, so that was a year ago. Looked at it. I immediately said, hey, this makes sense. It's for me. I joined the business, and within 3 months, I was able to overcome this inflation gap with some things that I always struggled with. So the moment I joined, I told Ed, I said, man, I've been looking for something to close the gap of everything I've been trying to do that just hasn't worked. Now, guys, I'm going to be honest. That was not me. I have made over 6-figure salary for the last 4 years. Okay? Over 6 figures. I literally lived paycheck to paycheck and was one miscellaneous bill away from literally being broke. Let that sink in. 6-figure salary for over 4 years. One paycheck away from literally being broke. So I got this information, just my W-4, cash flowed about $10,000 in 3 months, right? Paid off some debt, and I took one piece of crucial information that has really blown my mind and how this business educates you and gives you the opportunity to look at money differently. So I've had a 401k for about 10 years. I was that person that never really looked at my 401k. I just took the information, maybe increased my percentage I invested, but I never saw really any big increase. So I took this information and literally overnight, with one mouse click, with the information that assisted me with, I was able to increase my 401k balance by $14,000 with one mouse click. And today, I looked at this last week, and it blew my mind. I just changed my signature down below because I'm actually so proud of this. It's not bragging, but this is what this business does. I have cash flowed over $75,000 in 1 year. And when I say that, I mean that's income from taxes, that's debt relief, and that's about $55 in 401k earnings that I would have never gotten because my money would have had a lower rate.
Am I the only one getting fuzziness with Marcus? Are y'all hearing it too?
No, there's feedback.
Tell me that 401k again. It's feedback for some reason. Give me that 401k one more time. That number, that last number.
$45,000 increase in this past calendar year.
Wow. So okay, so I'm gonna dive in because I know people are like, whoa, especially people that are thinking to make more money, I gotta go make more money. I gotta go get another job. We keep saying this word cash flow. Marcus, can you explain to us what cash flow is versus income from selling something or a job or something like that? Cash flow.
So guys, you gotta look at cash flow like this. You get paid, you either pay bills and you spend that money on things, and you either have a negative cash flow balance or a positive cash flow balance at the end of the day. Meaning negative, you have more cash going out than you do have coming in. Positive is just the opposite. You have more cash coming in than you do going out. And what I was not able to do prior to MyEcon is understand how to leverage my current income and have positive cash flow. And it took me well over 10 years to understand that. I had sold a house back in 2005. I made a pretty nice penny on the sale of that house, but I didn't have good financial literacy back then. I probably blew over $50,000 in a year and a half. And looking back on that, had I reinvested that money with the information that I know now that this business has taught me, it would have earned me well over about $500,000 if I had not done anything else other than invest it, park it, and let it work. So,
okay.
You know, this cash flow concept is real. It's not something you have to work hard at. You just have to understand how you need to leverage your money to work for you as opposed to you working for the money.
You know what, Marcus? You brought up something very powerful, and I'm gonna bring this up. This is goes back to the thing I was talking about earlier. What he said is that you don't have to work hard at it, right? But here's why people make it hard, is because it's a different mindset. So it's not that it's hard to do, it's just different. And different a lot of times it can be a challenge. Let me give you an example. Right now we have a special going, okay? And people will create blocks. I'm going to tell you guys something. People will fight the hardest to do something that is good for them. They will challenge it the hardest. For example, right now, we have a special, so you can get MyEcon for a special rate. The rate is about one good margarita is about the cost of what it is, or 3 gallons of gas. And people are asking questions like, is it legal? Where's the people at? Let me get my lawyers on it. Like, dude, it's $10. You spent that at McDonald's. Did you ask them where you're getting the burgers from? Where your cousin live? You know what? Yeah, so it's like, seriously, it's $10 for knowledge. But that's because the people who have the money have programmed you so well that you will think so hard about doing anything that's going to help you and your family. How do I know you? Why do I say you? Because I used to do it. We all did it. I didn't understand cash flow. I came from a city or a mindset of hustle, hustle, hustle. I came from Detroit, Michigan. I made a lot of money in the real estate market. If I, just like Marcus, if I would have put the money in the right place, I thought I was being smart too. So people think, oh, you blew your money. No, I didn't. I put it back into investments, and then the market shifted and corrected itself. But I didn't know it was incorrect. if I understood, like Robert Kiyosaki, Ivy Stokes, who owns MyEcon, they knew that the market was going to quote unquote crash. It didn't crash. It just corrected itself. It's kind of like saying if you drive a truck off the cliff, it's going to hit, it crashed into the water. No, it didn't. It was basically doing what it was on course to do. And so we just didn't understand that. So let me give you a couple pillars to cash flow so you understand. Cash flow is broken down in a couple things. You can create it by decreasing your taxes. Okay, so let's just say you got this amount of money coming out. All right, what we want to do is decrease the amount of money coming out of your house and increase the amount of money coming in. Okay, so a lot of people are taught that the only way you can make money is you work hard for it. So if you get another job, that increases your cash flow, but it decreases your taxable liability. Sometimes you can make less money by getting a new job. You didn't know that, did you? You made more on the surface, but you're in a different tax bracket, so you got taxed more. Now, that's what they try to teach you, that you need to get another job, But just a home-based business will get you more cash flow to get another job. What's another way of cash flow? Decreasing your taxes, business income, investment income, lowering your expenses, okay, and decreasing debt. Those are 5 ways to increase your cash flow. Okay, you don't have to just get another job, and a lot of people think that they got to go get investments immediately. One of your best investments is, first of all, your best investment is yourself. Secondly, is knocking out the debt. Look at it this way, guys. Let's think about algebra back in the day, right? Positive and negative. If you have something, let's say your debt is $5,000, and you're paying 18% a month, okay? That's a negative cash flow of $5,000 compounded with 18% interest compounded. You knocking that out is like getting an investment of $5,000 giving you 18% compounded because your cash flow shifted. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Now, so we covered 3 of them. We cover debt, taxes, inflation. The 4th one is less than ideal cash flow decisions. These are decisions that we make that may not be the smartest, and it's not always blowing money. It could be other things. Now, I'm going to call on Eric. Eric, I know you got some less than ideal cash flow decisions you made, because I've been there when we made some of them. So can you share with us some less than ideal cash flow decisions that some people face?
Edmund, thanks a lot for allowing me the opportunity to share. And you're right. There's some major ones. Before I jump into that, I did just want to say, Edmund, we've got a lot of people listening to this call, and it's amazing that so many people are captivated and interested by this. If you're listening and watching inside of your Facebook environment, you are watching us, and if you feel like this is valuable information that Edmund is through this interview that he's doing, you have a share and a recommend button, and you can post this, and it'll go right out to your wall, and you can invite your friends to jump on and watch what we're talking about. Also, there's a comment feed right below the video screen. Please comment where you're listening in from, and then if you have any questions, we'll monitor those, and we'll be able to get those questions answered throughout the conversation later on. But specifically, when Edmund's talking about less than ideal cash flow decision, I mean, a lot of times it could be simple things like really just going out to eat. I know personally, I mean, I'm one of the co-founders of My Hangout Academy, and a lot of our students, we get on Hangouts because we teach a lot of information about Hangouts and stuff. We have after parties, and they know me as the one that likes to cut up and eat and drink and so forth. But sometimes, since my involvement with MyEcon, I really have to ask myself. I like to joke about it, and I like to, just have a lot of fun. But sometimes, less than ideal cash flow decisions can just be simply choices we make when it comes to food and drink. Or do we need to order, bigger portions or this or that? Or do we have to go get money from the ATM machine from the local convenience store? Why not use our current bank? Because if the convenience store charges you $2 or $3 to get $20, and your bank charges you $2 or $3, you paying 20% to get your own money. That doesn't make any logical financial sense at all. You want to be earning 20% on your money, not paying 20% on your own money, late fees. Just because you don't have a sufficient cash flow, the bills come in, they're due on the 1st, and you don't get them paid to the 5th, you incur a $10, $20, $30 late charge. You start adding those up. NSF fee from your bank. All of these things start to compile, and you've got $2,000, $3,000 a year that someone else just got from you because they can charge it to you because you just didn't pay something on time. Just because charges. That you just lost $2,000 or $3,000. Again, throw that into an investment calculator, compound that out over 10, 20, 30 years and see how much money you're losing. It really becomes jarring to the senses to say, wake up. I got to start making ideal cash flow decisions.
Eric, I want to chime in. Thank you for that. I want to chime in on a couple of ideal cash flow decisions that I experienced that I didn't even know or wouldn't even think that they were less than ideal. So let me talk about a couple. One, in certain cases, paying mortgage once a month. How many people do that? Everybody does that. Did you know when our mentor in MyEcon broke it down? He does this on calls for free. He's a financial advisor, the 7th ranked out of 3,000 in the United States, and he does coaching calls for us for free. And actually, Tracy, I'm coming to you next. Get ready, because I know he always came all the way from Little Rock to her house and gave her a private consultation. Now, that is not everybody. Tracy was working hard and deserved that, but still, I want to talk to you about some less than ideal cash flow decisions. I had no idea that if you pay your mortgage twice a month, the same amount, twice a month, that you could knock off 4 to 5 years of your mortgage. Invested, he showed us how that was a $225,000 mistake that people are making. Imagine what grandma could have did for you, mom could have did for you with an extra $225,000 that you could do for your children. You see what I'm saying? The second thing, another thing that's less than ideal cash flow decision, saving your money in the bank. Yep, savers are losers. I know you might fight me on this. Saving is better than not saving, but saving can buy you how many gallons of gas right now? How many can it buy you 10 years from now? How many can it buy you from 15? Saving stays lateral. You have to invest long term past the rate of inflation. So saving is a less than ideal cash flow decision. Not using a cashback mall or a cashback credit card if you're going to use one. Paying your credit card before the interest hits on, I think, the 26th or 27th is a cash flow decision. You can even swap credit cards to avoid the interest. I did this for a real estate deal one time. I had to pay in 90 days, so I kept switching the cards up, so I never really had to pay the hit until I got the cash flow from the real estate deal. Another thing you can do is be in a home-based business and hire your children. MyEcon, the owner of oh my God, it's going to blow away. You're going to love this one, Marcus. The owner of MyEcon has written off over $750,000 to his children. Buying what? School supplies, clothes, Christmas gifts, everything, college tuition. He even, after 18, if you hire your children after 18, you can just hire them as contractors and then 1099 them. And he 1099s his daughter. His daughter then pays for college. So now it's a write-off. You could even put money into your business, then buy a car. Now it's a company car. So these are things that the wealthy do that they just don't want to teach. And a lot of people that are upper class and middle class, we've been brain massaged. That's my cute way of saying it because we're on air, to think that we know it all and that we don't need to learn anything else. And we think that everything that can compensate somebody for sharing is a pyramid, and it's the devil, and it's network marketing, and I did one of those. No, you've never done anything like MyEcon. Because we don't even care about the money. Literally, everybody on this call is not on here because we're trying to recruit nobody. We just feel like we're trying to shed light on people to educate them. So Tracy, tell me your story, and I'll tell you, we're not telling people to go recruit or even share. Tracy, I want you to tell people what type of anxiety, not anxiety. You told me straight up, I'm not trying to recruit. I'm not trying to do it. Were you ever pressured to do anything besides learn to get your own story together? And what has that done for you? That's what I want people to know. Oh, we got to come off mute. I think, did I mute you? I think you got to unmute yourself though. If not, I can try to do it over here. Let's see what we got. Nah, I can't do it. Maybe if you're on a phone, I'm gonna come back to you and then who I want to talk. Oh, Shannon, I'm gonna go to Shannon, but Tracy, I want you to try to get off mute. Shannon, I want you to talk about basically what you do for a living, and then also chime in on this point of the decision you were just about to make before MyEcon and what you did after that and what results did you get.
I don't remember what you're talking about in terms of before and after, but I can share with
I'm talking about Snoop. I'm talking about Snoop.
About Snoop's people. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Right before MyEcon, I had just I was working out in the gym, and I met a gentleman that was the head of security for Snoop Dogg, and he was talking to me about the investments that are being made, and we're getting this great return, and we're doing all these things, and I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. These returns.
Hold on, tell them what you do for a living, and then go back into that. I want them to know who they're listening.
Okay. I am an attorney by training, so in a prior version of my life, I did tax remediation services. So basically, I helped other people clean up their problems with the IRS, or I'm in the state of California, so we have a lot of taxing bodies here. We have a lot of taxes that we pay. We have a lot of expenses. So I helped small businesses and individuals fix their tax problems with either the state or the IRS or both. And I did some small business consulting to help those people then in turn learn how to run their businesses so they did not run afoul of the IRS or the state taxing board that was bothering them in the state of California.
I'm going to sum it up for you because you're so modest. Shannon, she does her thing, is smart as a whip, went to my college, FAMU, and she makes good money. All right, she's a lawyer. That's what she does, and she decided to join MyEcon. Carry on, please.
Okay, well that would be the summary. I'll just tell you quickly why I joined MyEcon. Like you said, I'm a lawyer. I make money. I'm actually pretty good at paying off debt. I'm one of those people kind of similar to Marcus. I had a 401k. I had investments. I didn't really look at them. You get kind of complacent with your paycheck and your lifestyle. You're doing okay. But I got to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm tired of these student loans. I like to get rid of them. They're hampering my ability to travel and enjoy life freely. They're also hampering my ability to do some of the things I like to do in life. I had to take a full-time job, so I do employee discipline now. But that full-time job was taken with the express purposes of trying to pay off some debt. So I joined MyEcon because I got to the point where I was like, I really need to know how to invest. I really need to know how to acquire this financial freedom that Ed is always talking about and posting about on Facebook. What is this man doing? So I was just getting ready to going back to where I was. I had just met Snoop's people in the gym, and so I called this investment house, and they were like, yeah, so they just sent me a packet. They wanted me to fill it out, give them a big check, and then we'll talk about it. And I had just briefly spoken with Ed about MyEcon, and he actually was like, that sounds interesting. I'm like, well, I'm a lawyer, and it sounds wrong. Like, I'm not writing you a big check. I'm not just sending it to you, and then we'll discuss it. And so Ed at that time actually put me in contact also before I made that move with Charles Thomas, who he was mentioned as the financial planner. And he said, and Ed also said, well, follow up with those people, see what they're talking about. That relationship might not be as, you might want to maintain it. But then when you talk to the people involved in MyEcon, they actually are about teaching you, informing you, helping you figure out how to invest, giving you the knowledge so that you can go look up things yourself. No one's just telling you, go do this or write me a check and then I'm going to invest it for you. Check back with me later.
Yeah, on that note, Yeah, that,
Really
well,
good
that's
comment.
interesting. I want people to know it was that interesting, like, ooh, interesting. Not the, oh, that sounds exciting. No, because when she told me 8%, I'm like, dude, you get fired if you're my money manager making 8%. I don't, that's what you go tell people that don't know any better. 8% is nothing. I need 10, 15% on my money. And so I was like, ooh, but we had just got started, so I was not, like some of these MLMers. I wasn't like, oh, you need to join my thing. Oh, you stupid. I didn't. It wasn't like that, was it? We
No,
coasted.
no, absolutely not. You actually said, like, you know, talk to them, see what they're talking about.
I didn't want to
Get,
be a hater, but in the back of my
right,
mind, I'm like, ooh, kill them. But
right, right.
so, what has happened to now though? Bring me to right now. What has been able to happen for you? Okay, I
So,
got coming to you in a second.
so what's really cool is it's kind of like what you were talking about earlier, Ed, in that you don't know what you don't know. So MyEcon has allowed me to connect with people that have much more vast knowledge about investments. So now I too laugh when someone's like 8%. I'm like, 8%? That's whack. I could do better than that. Um, and then I've also learned how to be able to go, look on these different sites like T. Rowe Price and Vanguard. When someone just tells you something, you're like, now I'm like, oh, really? Okay, let me go look at it myself, because someone has taken the time to walk me through their websites and teach me how to pick funds to invest in, how to look at what these things are returning and what it means, how to research the history of a particular fund and see, does this fund rebound well when times are bad? So I've gotten to the point now where I have my own knowledge, so you can't just tell me something. I can actually question you and understand what you're talking about as well.
Okay. So now I know I got some people hitting me up saying we're getting little weird feedback, but hopefully you guys can really just hear it anyway. I mean, it's really nothing we can do but keep it pushing. So, but what we can do is everybody stay muted when you're not talking. But Tracy, can you talk about your experience? And Shannon, thank you for that. I want to make sure people get how valuable that was. Her being able to change from 8% to, I know I'm going to put her out there. She's gotten some things from 30%. She's gotten some things at 15. And percentages, guys, can be the difference. I'll tell you this: over a 40-year span, the difference between a $10,000 investment at 4% will get you. Kevin, correct me. Oh, Kevin's off. 4% will. By the time you're 71, that 4% investment goes to 40 grand. If you get 6% on it, it's to 80 grand. Just 2%. If you get 12%, so you're talking about 8% difference. That's $640,000. So she went from 8 to 15, almost 8% more. Okay, so and no telling what amount of money she put in. It probably was more than 10 grand. So we're talking about, but even if you started at $50, we can show you how to create that. But Tracy, tell us a little bit about what you do, your hesitancy. I really want you, because you relate to a lot of people out there that they're not really for nothing new. They don't want that banana. You know what I'm saying? They're not going for the okie doke. I mean, it took us some time. But then tell me what has happened and how you were treated along the process and where you are now.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Am I still on mute?
We got you.
You can hear me? Okay. As far as it goes, yes, I was a lot skeptical about it, because it was just like, with me with money, it's just like this thing we known as what we grew up was it's better to save. Put your money in savings, and it'll work that way. You save up, you do this, and then things will grow for you. But as time's gone along, as you see that the interest rate in savings has not grown as we have grown. So in essence, I learned that I was just like, I don't know about this, Ed. I'm not for certain with this. So as time went along, he kept showing me things that, kind of got my interest. I was like, well, maybe this thing can work. Went to a couple of meetings, and I saw a lot of people testifying about, how it had changed their lives, and how it was shown that the information was from the IRS itself. And so once I saw that, hey, this is actually is legit, as most people will say, that's the question I get: is this really real? I mean, then I discuss with them and tell them, these are the changes I've made. I'm getting an extra $300 or $400 a month from my checks. You know, that makes a big difference. I've paid off some things, and now I'm in the process of investing. And as he said, Mr. Thomas, you know, he's there available at any time. And I called him and spoke with him about a couple of things that I had been doing and found out those things were okay, but he showed me where I could have invested better. And now that I've known that, I've begun to do that.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a physical therapist, doctor of physical therapy at the trauma center here.
You know, I've noticed something. I've noticed how a lot of people that are doctors and lawyers, they don't bring it up often. Is it something that, do people judge you all, or do people, I've noticed that. It's like the last thing you bring up. And I don't even bring up my MBA. Now that I think about it. But is there something to that? I'm just curious.
No, a lot of times I just see it as a part of me. It's not that defines me. And it's a great accomplishment in itself, but at the same time, that's not all who I am. But some people also will be afraid of, you know, that's a doctor. Of course, she can do it because she's a doctor. I don't see no why she's in trouble because she has money. But that's not the case. We had to take our student loans like everybody else in order to get here. So now we're reaping the gains of our hard work. But at the same time, we still have stuff to pay off as well as anybody else.
Right. Okay. Thanks. That's pretty powerful, man. I'm getting more value from this as we keep going. I'm gonna make sure we muting people now so we can make sure we got everything rolling. I'm Shimiko and Corey. I'm gonna come to you guys in a second. I'm gonna get into the three solutions. I know a lot of people are wondering, how do we solve this? You know, okay, you've told us these things. There's three major things. All right. The number one thing, the first thing, is minimizing taxes. Okay. And don't let the word taxes scare you, because actually we like the IRS. You know, the IRS, once you understand that they lay everything out there, it's just, we just got to read it and understand it and have a community that's not trying to profit. Like, we don't sell insurance or we don't sell anything at the end of the road. We just give you education. That's why people say, well, is it real? I say, it's knowledge. It's like saying, is college real? Are there books in college? Like, you create this monster that doesn't exist. We're not like any other company. We're not a Me Too company. And I call it a mastermind. When I tell people it's a mastermind, I have joined masterminds. Actually, I sell a mastermind that is way more than 179. I mean, this is people going to the next level. It's over 5 figures just to be in the mastermind. And I'm not saying that to oppress you guys. I'm saying to impress upon you that people pay for knowledge, because knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is. Marcus is one of the most applying knowledge people I've ever met in my life. That's why he's cash flow so much, because he's taken information and went this far. And I know you guys are thinking, you saw some of the marketing, you saw us saying that 100% of people that apply themselves have a better year. That is true. But 100% of people that join MyEcon do not apply themselves. It does take discipline. It takes learning. It takes breaking your comfort zone. It takes breaking the bad habits that's got us broke or got us where we are, complacent, to get to that next level. And that could be tough. And that's why Tracy wasn't pushed. She wasn't pushed at all. Never, ever, ever did I tell her to go tell somebody anything. We were focusing just on her. Because it's like the movies. We treat MyEcon like the movies. Once we make a good movie for you, which is your story, then you will go tell people about the movie yourself. We don't recruit, we just share. So, 3 solutions. Well, like I said, minimizing taxes. You have several people on here to minimize taxes. Kevin gave you a great example about minimizing taxes. Then you have the second one is business income. So I guess I'd probably be the one to talk about business income on here. Yeah, Kevin, well, so I'm going to speak on this briefly. I've been able to mistakenly, I hit the top of the company in MyEcon, and I hit another level, which was a depth level to create more income. And Kevin, I am going to come back to you on this one. And I'll be able to help a lot of people and be able to create residual income. So every week there's a check coming in, and I didn't even try to do it. I literally was just helping people out of the fact that I lost so much money. Like I said, I had real estate. I lost it. I had a luxury car rental business. Another cash flow decision that was wrong. I put it in my personal name. I put all my real estate investment properties and my luxury cars. I'm talking about high-end Mercedes. I was renting these things out in my personal name. Guys, do you know what would have happened if somebody had passed away in my cars? Like, it was so many things I learned about this afterwards. I didn't even know. And I talked to Ivy. I actually gave my Mercedes back instead of repoing it. I thought I was doing a good thing. You know, Mom told me to give it back to him. Let's pay it off. And Ivy said, "Why you didn't let them repo it?" I was like, "That's embarrassing. Why would I let them repo it?" He said, "Well, if they repo it, then raise your hand if you knew this, because I didn't know this." He said, "If they repo it, it's collateral. If you give it back, it's payment on a loan." Does anybody right there understand the difference? Collateral, the debt is gone. I paid the debt and still owe 50 grand on the car. I gave them the car back, and they still tried, and they got a judgment on me for it. Destroy my credit. I'm out my 7th year this year. I'm coming out of 7 years. I don't even tell anybody this. 7 years of this, not being able to even to apply for a job, garnishing my checks. I have to do everything in my business. So all of my money goes into my business. Why? Because if it goes in my personal, I can't even have a personal account. It's gone because Mercedes wants it. And don't let me get started on American Express. Those guys are vultures about their money. Like, and so these are things I didn't know. And so people saying things like, "Oh man, you got it. Let's go ball out. Oh, you got it. Boss up." Man, what? No. We save money. This is where the cash flow goes now. Places like this. Went to Rome to see Rome. I'd rather spend money on this than have another Mercedes. No offense to people that got high-end vehicles. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just choosing what you want to do with your lifestyle. And yes, because of MyEcon, I've been able to come out of that, and I've been able to help a team of over hundreds of people in MyEcon, but it's only because of passion. And that's been able to give me thousands of dollars on bonus checks from MyEcon where I'm not even really trying to do it. But I want to talk, Kevin, I want you to talk a little bit about the One More movement, what you've been able to do in colleges, and what you've been able to do in Little Rock, and the event you have on the 27th, just what you've been able to do. You guys do a lot in the community. What has building a large team done outside of the making money? What has it done for making a difference? And I'd like you to just share a little bit of that. Unless you're paused. You're on mute. You're on mute, Chief. So you
got it now? Okay.
You got it.
So I mean, you brought up a great point. When you get outside of just financial education and really helping people be able to really change their finances, there's another side of the One More movement that a lot of people don't recognize. Now, a lot of people ask, what's the One More movement? We help one more person or one more family achieve their dreams. Whether it be we get in the community on the weekends or during the week and mentor the children, or we at our conferences we may do like a coat drive or a canned food drive where we donate to our local food banks, or it could be just get into a college and educating them about their finances. And you brought up a great point about getting to colleges. I can't take credit for all of that. I have to give it away to Candace. She actually, and this may give you some ideas, she actually partnered with her sorority sisters to get into the college and get a space. And what she done, we were able to get a space on 2 or 3 major colleges and really get the teenagers, the college students, financial education. So what they're doing now, not only are they thinking twice about getting those student loans, but they're thinking twice about getting credit cards. They're thinking twice about getting their mortgages, their homes a lot sooner. They're thinking twice about going out and getting high-end cars. They're thinking twice about going and buying Jordans. They're thinking twice about going to buy Louis Vuitton purses. So we're really helping our youth, which is our next generation, really understand the importance of finances and doing it in such a way where we're affecting colleges and also we're affecting high schools.
But I want to tell you this, you're not only just affecting that, you're affecting reps inside of MyEcon. I'll tell you guys, we're not on the same team at first by lineage of the company because we are because we're all with Mr. Charles Thomas, but we were on different paths. But Kevin and I met at an event, and then I then shift my whole team to learning the systems and strategies of one more because of what they're doing over there and being humble enough to say, hey, this guy's got it going on. And then Candace, I can't say enough about her. She represents the same sorority that my mother's in, my sister's in, Delta Sigma Theta, and I want to put this in there. She is the reality and so is Tracy, of what that organization does. I do not like, matter of fact, I hate that show that's out now. I'm not even going to give it a name because I don't want to give it credit, but I hate it. And those are my sisters as a fraternity brother. She's getting 4.0s, going out, helping communities. She's going to be on our next call. You know, we had this one filled, but she definitely will be on another one. And she's out there really making it happen. She's has a lot to do with One More Movement, as well as Nargis and a couple other individuals. Pastor Dandridge, I wish we could have got him on. We got to get past up to speed on the Hangouts. We've been trying for all day, but he's going to help his whole ministry, and he teaches them about prosperity. How many? He even goes over the quotes in the Bible that goes over prosperity and abundance. So we're doing a lot of things in our community. And Kevin, I humbly just am grateful for the leadership that you've provided, and you actually sparked me to create One More Legacy, which is an extension of One More, using the same systems and strategies, but it's a private group of those that are going to that next level. And that's when I'm going to bring in Corey. Corey is my frat brother as well. He actually pledged me. I'm not going to tell everything on this call, but he was the first person I met when I went.
Hey, Edmund.
When I went to the frat house in Florida A&M, when we off air, I'm going to tell you guys about that story. Corey is going to sound real smooth on here, but it is another side to that young man. But anyway, Corey, I want to bring you on because I want you to just talk about the in-depth of what you've been searching and seeking. You're one of the philosophers in the frat. You're a philosopher in just life and just understanding how deep things go. Tell people just a little bit of why this attracted you and how long you've even been in and what's happened since then. And you got to unmute before you come off.
Certainly, I appreciate that, Edmund. Don't be telling people lies about me, man. That's not nice. I can definitely say it's probably been about 2 or 3 years now, really, that both my wife and I really were trying to find something to where we could really leave behind a legacy for our daughter. Just be honest in terms of what it actually is. And I've been taking notes since we've been going through the presentation and the interviews tonight, and already have got my wheel spinning about some people that I want to call and talk to about some of the different strategies that they've used. But it's been really maybe a week, maybe 10 days since I've been a part of the One More movement and MyEcon, and I can definitely say just even the name itself, you know, you and I talking and having an opportunity to really be able to create my own economy is definitely what I'm drawn to. Really listening to Marcus's story, almost kind of feel like he was talking to me directly in terms of just some of the challenges that I have had, and you know, really kind of what I'm seeking. You know, it's kind of funny. I was watching a news program, and it was talking about this gentleman who actually worked a parking lot booth. I mean, he was a parking lot booth attendant for 20 plus years, and yet the individuals who parked their car on his lot would come to him for investment advice and stock advice. And I already know, because I don't work in a toll booth or a parking booth. I was like, well, I'm making more money on my W-2 than this brother. But when they showed the amount of money that he has from investments, it was mind-blowing to me. You know, here it is, this gentleman has worked in a parking booth for 20 plus years and has millions of dollars in investments. And so it just let me know that there was something definitely different I needed to do. And so, you know, when you and I started to talk, man, it was easy that, you know, for the last 3 years, MyEcon and what MyEcon has to offer was necessary for my family and I. And I can say, when I listen to everyone's story about what they've been able to create cash flow wise, MyEcon from a marketing standpoint is not the draw for me. I could really, I won't say I could care less, but I could care less really from that standpoint, because I'm really here to learn and be able to, you know, teach these strategies that I'm gonna learn to my daughter.
Right. You know,
and to our family, to close friends. I mean, any loved one that I have, I feel like I'm doing them a disservice if I do not share with them what I've been learning, even in the last 30 days.
You know, Brett, I love it. You just basically summed it up. You just said marketing could care less. I could care less about marketing, but I want to share this with everybody I know, which is not marketing, it's sharing. You see, it's a difference. See, sometimes people market something because they market because they want a profit. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't do this for a profit. Like, people on this call could really be. I could be watching the Denver game. I mean, I got my Santa Claus shirt on. Oh, this Darth Vader claws. Hanging out with the fam. But it's about helping other people. And I think so many times people feel like they're the one that's it. Like, it's so funny. They're like, oh, I don't know about this. Y'all need my money. No, you're the one that loses. Like, everybody on this call, all of us are going to be retired early, making millions. We already have it planned. Like, okay, let me ask you this question. Do you know when you're going to retire? Do you have it planned? We do. And I know you already know how I am. If you know me, you already know I keep it 100. I don't care about your feelings, because your feelings is what got you broke. So that's not what I care about. What I care about is your fortune. So I ask people, what do you fear more, your future? What do you honor more, your fear or your future? And
Edmund, one thing I'll say, when I really started to look at finance from a different standpoint, was when I started to really feel like there's a game being played and I don't know the rules. It's a game going on around me, and either I'm the kid on the outside of the yard that they won't let into play, or I just don't know the rules. And there's no way you can win in any game if they don't let you play or you don't know the rules. It's that simple.
I mean, it's like I use Monopoly a lot. I tell people, look, if they never taught you the rules of Monopoly, and all they said was keep going and you're gonna get $200, and you got excited about that, then you'll think that's all it is to life. If they never told you that you need to get greenhouses, and I equate greenhouses to the middle class and maybe upper middle class, because you're better than the people going around Go, and you got a little something going for yourself, but you got the hotels, right? Then the hotels is that you at another level. Now you win in the game and you can win, but it's competition. But then you got the other level, which is Parker Brothers. See, that's the level we don't even know that it's a game off the board. And I tell people it's a reason why there's never a string. There's always a string attached to the head of a puppet. It's because they don't want them to ever look up. Because once you realize that you're a puppet and you're being played, you might change things. When I see a lot of songs we listen to, I see these shows, I just won't subscribe to the puppet master. It just won't happen. So what we're doing is breaking that mold, and everybody's not going to like this. I mean, we probably lost a couple people in the last 10 minutes, but that's cool. But those people that say, look, man, I know I was broke last year. I know I was broke the year before that. This was me. I admit. I mean, I was broke, like, all the way, insufficient. But I'm like, how you going to charge me $35 when you know I ain't got no money? I never understood that, but it doesn't matter. Your bank doesn't love you. Ivy says it best. Your bank doesn't love you, right? So now, Miko, this is a little different. It's a little different with you. I want to bring it home with you. The last thing that we have to do after you're minimizing your taxes,
Yes.
you're creating business income. Now it's on to asset accumulation, right? And you've been helping people all your life, Miko. And so, what has MyEcon done for you? You've only been in several months. Tell me a little bit about it without going too personal, because I know it's emotional, but tell me a little bit about what's been going on and how this has brought you around. And you could go as deep as you want to go, but I saved you for last because I want you to share what you feel like sharing.
Well, I started off with losing a couple of $100,000 by not investing correctly, or should I say, being told things that just didn't make sense to me. But you pay someone thinking that they have your best interest, and it just made sense for me to learn what I needed to learn, because I am a business coach, and correct myself. So just in the short time that I've been here, and I shared that with you, that I've been able to minimize my taxes and utilize quite a bit of money that I've been overpaying in taxes to invest correctly. The program was, it is so easy. It's easy to understand. The knowledge is there. I've been able to attend multiple trainings and classes that Ivy Stokes has here in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and pick his brain. What do I invest in? How do I get out here? How do I do it correctly? Because it's easy for me to help a business to open and to do the things that I do as far as a business coach. But to be able to give them the tools that they needed, MyEcon has it all, from the, capturing the receipts on, and it just made a lot of sense. I came to you for a tool that not only I could understand, but I could share with individuals that would help them grow their business, help them grow their monetary investments. But then I was able to use it myself and give that proof of it works. It actually works. So let me share this information with you. And I think it's just so easy that had I known this a couple $100,000 ago, I would be in a whole different place now. That's for sure.
Wow. I'm glad you share that. And I want to tell people, we have fun too. Kevin and Nargis had to get off. They're on another call. And I should have did this before they left, but I was going to ask how many of you all have traveled, and gotten some write-offs because of this. Like, Mika, raise your hand if you, you've done some more things.
A lot.
Yeah, me and Eric have been out to, San Diego. We've been several places because of this.
Yeah.
Nico, Shanna, Nargis, and Kevin, we all were in Mexico, Tulum for about a week. It's been enabled us to do a lot of things. This weekend we're all going to Little Rock for a soiree, kind of like a gala type of deal by MyEcon. Who does that? What companies do that? And the gala is focused on charity, So we're doing a lot of things in MyEcon, and like I said, I call it a mastermind, and we're creating legacies. And so I know we're coming on to a little bit over an hour. I wanted to keep this around an hour. But Eric, what I want to do before we leave, I want you to just kind of wrap it all up. You've been looking at the comments. You've been looking and kind of just observing. You always have a good way of just, bird's eye viewing everything and telling people kind of what they should be thinking or what they should be doing next. So, Eric, I'd like to just pass it over to you and just kind of wrap up some things, and then I'll say the last piece, but just wrap up whatever you feel like the missing pieces are.
Well, first of all, thanks for everybody for being on the panel and sharing your story. It's amazing, and the friendships and I've heard about each and every one of you, and so it was really nice to finally connect here on the Hangout. But really, for our audience that's listening, we have some great comments to come in. People are really appreciating the information that has been shared. Mr. Thomas, thank you for being on the call as well. We've got, just want to at least address and thank those that have came on to the call. We've got Ruben Evans, Evelyn Brown, Dominique Hackett, Ayana Lee, Derica Lawrence, Robin Baker, Evelyn Brown. Again, we thank everybody for your comments and participating there on inside of Facebook, because this is valuable information. And really what you need to do next is just simply share the story about MyEcon. Take this recording, pass this recording on, post it on your Facebook wall. This is not a sales pitch opportunity to jump in and it's time to make a bunch of money. What it really is time to do is, if you really care about other people, it's time to help others change their life.
Yes.
And it's time for you to go ahead and continue doing what you're doing. If you're a part of MyEcon, stay with it. Stay the course. You've coming up on another year where it's time to file your taxes. Share that story with people. There's some stories of folks that we don't have on the panel, but there's some single moms that are on my team that got their taxes done this past tax year that have been a part of MyEcon and cash flowed over $6,500 as a single mom, employing a daughter in the business, a 10-year-old. We talked about that with Ivy. That's a huge deduction that parents can take advantage of, and educating their children along the way, teaching them responsibility. But stay the course. This is a lifestyle. So when you're making money with MyEcon, the cash flow that people were talking about, that's your money. It's either going to go to Uncle Sam or it's going to go to your family and to your legacy that you're wanting to leave behind. So really think about that. Share this with individuals. Let them see. Come into the mastermind. Get the education. And right now, I mean, it's a great opportunity to do that. When normally it's $179 to join, which is a steal. We still don't understand why the company charges so little, but it's these types of stories. That's what makes it real, because this is about changing one more life, one more family. And now, as Edmund said, you can join for less than $10 to get this education that we've talked about. This is powerful. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So, Evan, I could keep going, but I'm not. It's just, I just want to encourage everyone to just, again, stay true to the course, stay plugged in, and not get caught up in being a puppet in this system. 2015 can be and will be, if it is your choice, for you personally, it will be a huge, huge year.
Yeah, Eric, you know, man, you always, dude, I like the way you speak, man. I'm gonna call you Pastor Eric. Man, you captivate everybody, the way you bring people in, man. It's like, you can make your life. I just love it, man. It's amazing. We need to make you like that movie guy. When he dies, you need to take his place. But anyway, I want to close out with a couple homework assignments, because a lot of people, you know, what do you do next? What can I do? Okay, here's what you do. Whoever invited this to you, now they might have a button. If you're on my page, please do not click the join button. Okay, if you're on Live Free Show, if you went to got a hand up, don't click that, because a lot of people leveraged my system and my software to share this information with you. And even though I know the owner, we can correct it, I don't want to go through all that. What I want you to do is click the request more info, and just request more info, and I'll get back with you, and we'll see, you know, make sure you lines up correctly, you're with the right, you know, people. We do orientations with individuals. So what do you get? You get the software, you get the community, you get the business side of things, you get the tax write-offs, you get cashback mall, you get education, you get live weekly trainings, you get online, and you get them in person, you get tax training, you get investment training, you get mortgage insurance, everything you can think about finances, you get that. On top of that, you get a bunch of friends, cool people, and like-minded individuals, and you can get out of the minutia of the BS that's out there in the world and get in with the hangouts. We travel together, we have fun together. We're about to hang out after this. After we go off air, we're about to stay on here, and we're about to have a little bit more fun hanging out with each other, because that's, you know, that's just what we do. And what I want you to know, though, is one of my quotes from one of my other frat brothers, Steve Harvey. He says it best. He says, at one point in your life, you're just going to have to decide. Like, that's really all it is. And test us. For $10, test MyEcon. Nobody tells you to do this, but I'm going to tell you to do it. Test it and really dive in. Give it 6 months, though. Give it 6 months. You're going to be paying $29 a month for 6 months. Give it 6 months just to really dive in, and tell me you don't get more than double the value of your money. Tell me you don't meet somebody that changed your life. Tell me that you didn't get value, because I'm going to tell you like this. Next year, we're going to be doing this again. You're going to have Christmas. It's going to come around again. And I don't know how many times this thing came around, and you're around the same point in your life. Decide for yourself, because what hurts is when somebody else decides for you. When somebody takes your job away. When somebody stops supporting you. When you get a divorce. When you go through some life crisis. When you got mom or dad sick, going in the hospital, and you can't afford it. When you can't even afford a plane ride back to home. I mean, a plane home for the Christmas, for the holidays. When you can't afford gifts. When you can't afford the school you want to put your daughter or son in. That's when somebody else is deciding for you, and it's too late. Please don't wait. Don't make that mistake. I heard my sisters on this call. I'm super excited about that. It's one of the blessings of Christmas. Because nothing could be better than me hearing my sister on this call. You know, I've been doing it all my life, and yes, I'm talking to you. I love that you're on this call. Your Christmas gift to me is to dive into MyEcon. You could give me nothing else but that satisfaction. So I want you all, before I get too emotional, let me go ahead and say, make a decision. And if it's not for MyEcon, just do it somehow. And I want you to know that book from Tony Robbins, just Google Amazon bestseller. It's the #1 seller. I think, Miko, I think you got that one. If you want to say that really quick before we get off. We're going to start all reading that together in January. So either get the audio book or get the book. Well, I'm talking to everybody in this call. If you're not on, you can read it yourself, but we're all going to read it together. So anyway, everybody, you guys can come off mute if you want to say goodbye to people, want to say anything. You know, I'm done thank you all for we know it's Monday night, football, and you could be with the fam, so we appreciate your time. But everybody, if you want to say anything, please feel free. I'm done, and I'm just going to sit back and wait. Do not get off the call, guys, because we're going to have the hangout after the hangout, and I'm going to go get what I need for that. But go ahead, Eric. I think you got something.
One thing real quick. Those of you that are watching on Facebook, refresh the page, and you'll see the request info button that'll be there. And then there's a button that says join the mastermind. But as he said, click on the request more info button. So just refresh your page, and that button is there now. Anybody else who wants to say anything? Come off mute, say what you got to say.
All I can say, Eric, is $9.95 change your life. I mean, in a nutshell, $9.95 change your life.
Yeah, I agree. If you're stuck in a rut, if you're one of those people like, man, I got this debt thing under control, I got this under control, you have no idea what you don't know until someone tells you what they do know.
Yeah, I'd like to add, even though I'm debt-free, I'm definitely rebuilding my wealth, and this is a great tool to utilize that. Definitely a great tool.
The thing I have to say is, what's the worst that could happen? You stay where you are.
Damn. I had to come off the camera on that one.
And the name of that book, Edmund, is Money Master's Game.
Money Master. Money Master Game. And if you buy it, make sure you buy it and get some cash back on it.
Adjusting his
I think everybody said something. So, Tracy, you got anything, or are you on the mute action over there?
Making a 6-figure income.
Hold on, Bug over there.
Oh. Hey, I'm sorry, man. Look, I'm hype. I'm over here talking about market story with the wife. We in it. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Nice.
All right, so everybody, let me close this thing out. Go ahead, hit that button. Get back if you got questions before you need to do anything to request more information. We'll chat with you. We'll probably do another one in the next 7 days or so. Probably do something near the New Year's or something like that. So that's a time where you can actually get involved, and get people going and share this while it's still in the promotion. And you can hit the top of the company in a couple of weeks, probably a couple of days, really. Yeah. If you decide to do that. If you don't decide to do that, that's fine. We'll work on your story. No pressure at all. All right. So with that being said, God bless you guys. Good night. Tracy, you got something?
No, I was just saying, I finally unmute now, so I'm learning. So this is all new to me with this Google Hangout. So, but it's nice meeting everybody.
All right. Take care, and you guys stay on. Eric, you can take us off live, and we can get live.